And we are live. We just watched Ahsoka episode 4. God, I feel like my camera quality is terrible. Oh well. This one, what'd you guys think? Bro, Ezra is my favorite Star Wars character, and that was so amazing. I figured this episode needed to set up a new arc in this series for episodes 7 and 8, so I really tempered my expectations. Am I the only one who thought Darth Nihilus in the scene where Baylan and Shin were just talking before they noticed the bandits? This episode kinda sucked, not gonna lie. What? This episode was always going to fail below expectations considering it followed one of the best Star Wars episodes in all of the series. 9.4 rating, plus episode 4 was incredible. This episode definitely started off strong and kind of fell off towards the end. I lost my train of thought. Hey Goldman, wow, my eyes are still watering. Hello, you mean episode 6? Yeah, what did I say? Did I not say episode 6? Why does Ezra look like Jesus? This is not Ahsoka, this is Rebels Season 5. Yeah, a lot of Rebels Season 5 vibes here. But, are we ready? Spoiler warning. I don't know why you would be tuning into the stream if you are trying to avoid spoilers. But, that is not the screen I was going for. There he is. There is our boy, Ezra. Oh, I missed him. He has a beard. You know what's funny? A lot of the times when they show characters with like different colored eyes, I'm not used to it at first. And then like I have to remember, oh, because like if you look closely at some of the other shots they have, I don't know, are there any like good close-ups of Ezra? I'm trying to see if I can find any. But it was sweet. It's Ezra. Another great episode. In my opinion, this is a 9 out of 10 episode and is the third best episode. I hope Morgan has a lightsaber whip and can summon Rancor named Cuddles. There's our boy Ezra. I do have some thoughts about this episode, but I'll get there in a second. It was too short. We wasted too much time getting to him. I don't know. Like, did you guys expect it to be that easy to find him? Like, they were just going to arrive on the planet and find him? Poor Ezra's like, I can't wait to go home. And Sabine's like, ugh. I don't know. So let's pull up the most memorable part of the episode for a lot of people. And that is the... Look at, like... I love a lot of the aesthetic choices here. I'm trying to get a good... Oh, yeah, why was Ezra's hair not navy blue? That's a great question. And I wish I could tell you. There he is. There is Grand Admiral Thrawn. Actually, I want to make sure that I'm sharing my screen properly here. Because I'm not. So I need to change some things real quick. This is good. There we go. Okay. So yeah, I loved a lot of the aesthetic choices they made here with the whatever to call this, the Thrawn's Empire. Some of the stuff between Sabine and the Hound felt forced and messed with the pacing, but the rest of the episode was done perfectly. What did you guys think about like this, the whole new Empire? I want to get a good shot of some of the like stormtroopers or whatever. And like one of them had like a face, like instead of a stormtrooper helmet, like here's a decent shot. Like this dude in the back. Like, that's awesome. The troopers go hard. Yeah, like these stormtroopers look a little intimidating. I don't know why. I just kind of always assumed that there was nothing to talk about with like Thrawn's forces on that Star Destroyer. But I guess they're fine. Why wasn't Thrawn's hair navy blue either? I don't know. Is Thrawn's hair not blue? God, Thrawn's voice is just perfect. God, I love Thrawn's voice. That one stormtrooper got drip. Yeah, it does. 9 out of 10 easily. So much good lore. Kind of looked like a gladiator helmet. This was well done. The designs of the stormtroopers, especially Enoch. Was that the name of like this guy on the right here? It was really cool. The episode is fine. The new galaxy looks like every other galaxy. It's just Earth with a bunch of space junk in the shape of a ring. Yeah, so let's get into that. I guess I'll try and pull up. Oh, first we can talk about the beginning of the episode. So, for those of you who were not part of my stream before, you remember I made some predictions that all came wrong. So the first one was we would see Thrawn only at the end for a moment. That didn't come true. We will not see Ezra in this episode. That did not come true. New species introduced working with Thrawn. Maybe. I assume those stormtroopers are just regular people, so wrong. And then we will not see Ahsoka in this episode. That's like kind of right. We saw Ahsoka like barely in the beginning. The Ahsoka, the story. And he's like, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. A little on the nose, wasn't it? I thought the episode was just going to be an entire episode where he tells stories. And he's like, you know how Yang began the episode? He's like, oh, I can tell these stories about these other galaxies. I thought the episode was going to be that, and then it was going to be a complete filler episode. And then after the title sequence, it turned to Sabine. I was like, thank fuck. I would have been so pissed if the whole episode was devoted to some random stories who Yang was telling. Yeah, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. The first time we've ever heard those lines in Star Wars, I believe, right? Have you ever heard that before? It's only a matter of time now. We got part of it. It's only a matter of time now until someone says, these are the Star Wars. I'm super interested to see how the Baylan, Shin, and Thrawn Morgan dynamics play out. Yeah, me too. And it's also interesting to see Ahsoka's perspective on Sabine, because she didn't really share that thought with Hera in the previous episode. But there's not much to do with Ahsoka in this episode, because they soon arrive on... Well, I keep on forgetting the name of this new planet. Can someone in the comments remind me? The actor that plays Thrawn is his voice actor in Rebels. That is true. That is definitely Lars Mikkelsen. I mean, the live-action Thrawn looks like Lars Mikkelsen. And thank God, because Thrawn's voice is just so captivating. I don't know, like, how to put my finger on it. There's something about it that's so soothing to listen to. I would listen to Lars Mikkelsen narrate a book. Does he do the Thrawn narrations, like the Thrawn books, the audiobooks? Peridia, okay. Peridia, yeah. So that's pretty. I mean, it kind of just does. I liked how there was like some architecture to the planet that was really interesting. Like they had these weird statues. So I guess this is some Dathomirian planet. Here we go. Like they have these weird statues here that I guess are just stuff from the Dathomir. Thrawn looked a bit fat. He was a bit chunky. You guys remember in that one Rebels episode where he's fighting those like the Dark Trooper looking things, and then Callus is there? Yeah, I don't think Thrawn's been training that much since. Well, it was the home planet of the witches. Yeah. He does not do the voice acting in the books. Aw, boo. Thrawn said he wanted to know Ahsoka's history and her master. He knows Anakin is Vader, so he will try to play with her. Oh, that's a good point, Velvet. Ooh, I like that a lot. It's so in Thrawn's character to ask about Ahsoka's master and her history. Yeah, me too. That's awesome. I really like that. But anyways, let's go like chronologically here throughout the episode. I will say I'm a little disappointed with like Baylan's promise to Sabine, where I'll just pull up this shot. So Baylan promised he'll help Sabine find Ezra, right? And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go kill her afterwards. But Baylan said that he thinks Sabine can serve a larger purpose, and I don't know what that is yet, so I'm a little concerned. Otherwise, it does feel a little contrived, where it's like, okay, we'll bring Sabine along so she can find Ezra. So, just like narratively, it's like, why does Baylan need Ezra? That seems to be the point here. Baylan doesn't seem to have the honor that I speculated that he had, because he's willing to kill Sabine and Ezra anyway. But like, why bring Sabine here in the first place? Like, if you're Baylan and Shin, why? Like, yeah, she gave you the map and you kind of kept your word, but like, is there anything more to that? It was keeping your word solely so they can meet and then you can go kill Sabine anyway? Yeah, I don't know. And actually, one thing I did find interesting was how Thrawn was like to Morgan, our goal is to leave this place. It doesn't really matter, like, what happens to Sabine, Ezra, Shin, or Baylan. So I wonder if they get betrayed and Baylan and Shin are forced to work with Sabine and Ezra to get back. That would be interesting. I believe the purpose is also to leave the mercenaries behind. I think Thrawn will definitely betray Shin and Baylan. At least we got a little something more for backstory around Baylan and Shin. Some of the dialogue I felt was a little forced, where he's like, "Oh, I remember the days of the Jedi Order," and Shin was like asking him questions. I feel like the two would already know. Like, there's a lot of personal information that Baylan reveals in this episode that realistically I feel like he would have told his Padawan earlier in the series. Baylan is playing his own game and is trying to blindside Thrawn and wants Ezra for his own plan. Maybe. But it's like, but Baylan speaks about this, like, ending the cycle of destruction, and we still don't really know what that even remotely means, which is fine. We just need an answer, or else if we get a lackluster answer, then a lot of people are going to be pissed. I did like seeing a little bit more of their relationship in this episode, and a little bit more of, like, Shin's, like, when he talks about Ezra, when Baylan talks about Ezra, he's like, "Oh, this was a new kind of Jedi that was trained before and after the Order." And Shin's like, "Kind of like me?" And he's like, "No, I trained you to be something better." So he clearly has some strong emotions towards the Jedi. I guess we don't know specifically what. Is it just standard, oh, the Jedi were failures, blah, blah, blah? Or does he have actual more information to share? Baylan is Snoke talking about ending this cycle and starting a new beginning. Yeah, I don't think that's I don't think that's the case. I think Baylan won't kill Sabine and Ezra. Maybe. I'm just really curious and nervous about what Baylan's true goals are here. Palpatine made Snoke, yeah. He needs to end both Jedi and Empire. Thrawn is the Empire and Ezra is the Jedi. Each need to come to an end in his eyes. But it's like, why? They're off in this other galaxy somewhere. Did you really need to go across this galaxy and risk them coming back? So, yeah. The editing in this show feels like they used every single shot they filmed to milk every episode. I don't have an issue with this episode being too long or short. Baylan, I think, is looking for a rapture-like concept that will end the cycle. I guess I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what he wants. Does he want Ezra? Do you guys think Baylan is going to go there and try and kill Sabine and Ezra? I don't know. Also, is Ezra still strong with the Force? Like, what has he been up to for 10 years? Enoch's cool. All I know is I could listen to Lars Mikkelsen for days. Yeah, me too. Baylan mentioning the cycle of power leads me to think he won't be alongside Thrawn any longer. Yeah, I've had some of those thoughts too. I think Shin will turn on Baylan, though. Something in her looks. Maybe. There's clearly something in Peridia that Baylan's alluding to that would be providing him with a great power. What if it's those frog-looking people? So we can cut to that. So they let Sabine go. She wanders off. Oh, Thrawn arrives. We'll get to Thrawn arriving first. We kind of spoke about that. But, like, I want a good shot here of, like, the stormtroopers and how, like, dirty they look. Like, obviously, like, they have... I get they're dirty, but they have, like, the red stripes on their shoulders. And it's like, that must be really boring. Imagine being a casual stormtrooper and you're just like, oh, I have to be a part of Thrawn's military for 10 more years. No breaks. And we got to pray someone comes and rescues us. So that would be really funny. Ezra accepting not getting answers ASAP seems silly after all that time. Like, I feel like Sabine, if I was Sabine, I'd have so many things to tell Ezra. But let's try and stay chronological here. So, like, Thrawn returns, and he's been clearly in communication with Morgan Elsbeth, and then he talks to Sabine. And I believe this is actually the first time Thrawn and Sabine have met. We talked about this last week, where they've never really spoken to each other. Like, Thrawn was aware of Sabine because he studied her art and whatnot, but he never actually spoke to her. I don't think. Well, Ezra gave Sabine her lightsaber, so maybe he made one? With what? Maybe. Yeah, this whole... Thrawn is just so intriguing. This episode just set up a lot of interesting things that I feel like need to be paid off. Like, Thrawn clearly has a plan. Like, what is it? Does he just want to return to the galaxy? Like, I don't know. And then Enoch, like, that Enoch design is really cool. So are the Dathomiri extragalactic? I guess so. I believe so as well. I don't think they have a proper face-to-face in Rebels. Yeah. So anyway, Thrawn and Morgan talk. They talk about leaving and getting back to the other galaxy. Oh, and Thrawn spoke about like them like transporting something back, like load the cargo. Like I wonder what that meant. Like, is there some secret Dathomiri magic here? Like, I'm not sure. Like, what do you guys think about that? And also, Thrawn's Legion here, I guess he's supposed to unite the Empire. Like, I'm about to say, he only has one Legion here. You can't retake the galaxy with that. But I guess he can. Thrawn met up with Sabine. Everything was so generic and non-committal. People should be talking, and situation should be clear. This was set up early episode. Yeah. All I know is that we have a clear window for another trilogy of Thrawn books, and I will be paying for those in advance. Like what? What has he been up to, though? He hasn't really been up to anything. Is the creature Sabine rides kind of like the Lothwolves? I don't know. They didn't seem mystical anyway. The Lothwolves were mystical. They are transporting things from the catacombs. Like what? What are those things? The things are Sith and Carbonite. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But it's like there's stories. This was another interesting thing. There were stories of the Jedi, like talking about. Baylan said that there were legends of that the Jedi told them about this place in Peridia or whatever. So clearly, there's something more here besides just Dathomiri, magic, Thrawn, and Ezra. Like there's something here, and it's not the frogs. So I don't know what that is, and I don't know how to speculate really. So Ezra disappears, or Sabine fights some mercenaries or whatever, and then they find the little froglings or whatever. Those things are kind of cute. I'll give them that. So Sabine finds these things. Any thoughts on these things? Like, no, they were kind of cute. Kind of cute. I love how that's what Ezra's been up to. He's just been living with these little frogs. I'm about to say toads. Like these little toad-looking things. I think the troopers are zombies. Interesting. But like one of them has a name. Would you really name a zombie? I guess Merrick had a name. They seem to be more like giant rat-like animals. I want to see a show about Thrawn, what he's been up to ever since the Rebels. It seems like he hasn't been up to much, though. Like, he's just been chilling, communicating with Morgan over Dathomir magic. Clearly, some of his stormtroopers got some upgrades. It's like, what else is there that he's been up to? It's interesting that Ezra is, like, still there on the planet. I guess he has nowhere else to go, but, like, Thrawn hasn't tried to kill him. Like, Thrawn's like, I don't even know if Ezra's still alive. It seems like Thrawn just doesn't care. Like, after the whole thing, he's like, okay, Ezra, see you later. I'm like, you do you. I would love to see, like, the awkwardness. It's like, Ezra and Thrawn arrive at this place, and he's like, what now? Oh, I'm going to go wander off? Do those creatures know about the Force? I don't know. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put up a poll for you guys. Like, what do you guys think about this episode? Start a poll. How would you rate this episode? Oh, I want to do... No, okay, not yes or no. 10... 9 through 10... 7 through 8... 5 through 6... below 5. Here we go. All right, we got a poll in the chat. How would you rate this episode? The troopers have their armor fixed with gold, and it looks like Japanese art named with kintsugi, which is a process of bringing interesting lore. You know, I didn't know that. I don't know a lot about the Japanese influence. Oh, a lot of positive things early on. A lot of 9s out of 10s, 7 through 8s. I think I'd give it like a 7 or an 8. It did its job of setting up the next episode, but there wasn't like really that much. Yeah, I feel like 7A is kind of catching up. Ooh, a below 5%. We have 200 people in the chat, or 200 people watching. I would greatly appreciate everyone, by the way, if you would destroy the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot. I'm gonna get a more interesting background image here than just the frogs. And this was another interesting scene here, where Baylan was talking about the past, and Shin was like, oh, I'm like a Jedi. And he's like, no, you're not. Here, I'll just use this shot, I guess. Here. So we got 48% say 9 out of 10. 47% say 7 through 8. 7% say 5 through 6. 1% say below 5. I give it a 5 out of 10. The reaction between Ezra and Sabine wasn't all that emotional. I guess I didn't know what to expect. Like, I'm glad it wasn't over the top where Sabine was like, oh, Ezra. Like, they're just friends after all. Thrash's intro made me cry. Wish we saw some new stylized Death Trooper armor. We might. They want to a whole new galaxy when we met Thrawn and saw Night Sisters. This episode definitely did some good world building. Yeah, I don't know actually if it did good world building. It just established some interesting things. I think there's a lot more to come. It was like, this is not a filler episode by any means. By any means it's not. It's more like a stepping stone episode. Like, oh, we gotta get through this, you know. Like, not much happened here. There wasn't really much conflict or anything. The thing I'm the most curious about is what is Baylan's true intentions? Because he speaks about this thing. I will be so disappointed if he actually just wants to kill Sabine and Ezra. Like, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? This is why I like talking to you guys. Like, you guys help me balance some ideas. Oh, and I do want to talk about so share your ideas there. I do want to talk about one thing that someone mentioned, and it was a great point. Here we go. So Thrawn's talking to Morgan, and Morgan's like, oh, it seems like someone is coming back. Ezra is going to, or Ahsoka Tano is on our trail, or whatever. And he's like, I want you to tell me everything about Ahsoka Tano. I can't do Thrawn's voice. You must tell me everything about Ahsoka Tano, where she's from, her past. I can't do it. I like voice acting, but I don't think I can do it. All right. I'm going to close this for now. And then Thrawn was like, tell me about her master, right? Thrawn knows Anakin. There's been some books on that. And Thrawn kind of knew Anakin was Vader as well. So I would love to see a Thrawn as Ahsoka interaction, because that's not something we even remotely got in Rebels. I'm glad Sabine's selfishness is being addressed. Yeah, it needs to. I mean, she's about to cause a war. Like, she found Ezra. And Ezra's going to be kind of mad at her, too. Because Ezra doesn't know how or why or what they're doing there. That was an incredibly bad Thrawn impression. Oh, no. Too many people know who Vader is. Yeah, I kind of agree. Granted, it's after the war. Thrawn's met Anakin during the Clone Wars. Did he know about Ahsoka? Maybe he heard about her. I mean, he studied a lot. When he studied the Ghost Crew, he probably knew of Ahsoka, but I don't think he knows much, because she was kind of gone for a while. It would be great to see Ahsoka and Thrawn interact. I feel like they will. They have to. What is Thrawn loading onto his ship? Not Taco. That's what I want to know. There's so many things I want to know. This episode didn't really give me any answers at all to the questions I had. Like, we know Ezra's there. Okay, we know Thrawn's there. Like, we know he hasn't really been up to much. He still has his whole Imperial squadron, or I don't know the military term, but he's still got his whole team with him. Like, what is Thrawn's goal? How does he want to retake the Empire? And they were talking about, like, these tomb type things. I know some of you guys are bringing it up in the chat. Dead Night Sisters, is that, like, what they're trying to do here? Is load dead Night Sisters? Here we go. Here's a shot. It's like they're transporting something. Are these wide enough and long enough to be actual, like, tombs? Or, like, caskets? Maybe. I think so. Army of Witches and Imperials, I hope. That would be interesting. I wonder if they're really... You think they're really going to go down this, like, Death Troopers, like, OG Death Troopers zombies route? And that the Night Sisters that were on Peridia with Thrawn have actually been, like, trying to resurrect dead bodies and create zombies? Like, that would be wild. Got very strong Bene Gesserit vibes. Oh, yeah, me too. Me too. What if Ezra is a Force vision? No. That's actually Ezra. This episode, again, it just set up a bunch of... Left me with more questions than answers. Like, what are in these tombs? What is Thrawn's actual plan? What is Baylan's actual plan? Does Shin know what Baylan's actual plan is? It seems like she doesn't. Is Baylan going to like Shin's actual plan? Or is Shin going to like Baylan's actual plan? They're making undead stormtroopers? That would be so ballsy. That's really interesting. I feel like they've gone far enough with magic stuff. I don't think they're going to end it with an army of witches. Maybe. 2 more episodes left. You're not wrong. It's a shame how much little time we have left with Baylan. I don't mind the slow burners, but knowing he probably won't be on season 2 makes me anxious. Yeah, we can talk a bit more about Baylan later and like the whole situation with Ray Stevenson and how unfortunate that was. But now let's just focus on the episode. So we can talk about that. And now I have a lot of thoughts on Sabine and Ezra. I liked Ezra's outfit, by the way. That's a cool outfit. I don't know, Ezra with a beard, like he was a kid the last time we saw him. He's like, I knew I could count on you. And you know what I really liked? There's a lot of speculation that Ezra was secretly on the dark side and that when they were going to find him, he was going to be different. And that's the same old Ezra. That's the Ezra we know. He was so happy to see Sabine. Of course, he's been hiding out with these animals. I don't know. I mean, I can't say he looks like Ezra because, like, Ezra just had like a very generic look, and here he doesn't share that look at all. Like he didn't have the blue short hair. Ezra didn't have a beard. But like he just captures like Ezra's spirit. I don't know. Ezra had this like this youthful optimism, and he still had that. He reminds me of a Jesus figure. Oh yeah, he looks like a brown Jesus. Absolutely. Chainmail armor. Yeah. It's just like I bet you Ezra's gonna ask a lot of questions off screen, and I want to see those questions being answered. Like he kind of vaguely was like, "Was it worth it?" or "Did it work?" And Sabine's like, "Yeah." So it's like, okay, we won. But if I was Sabine, I'd be like, "Oh, the Empire lost the war. We didn't just free Lothal. Like we won the war. The rebels won the war against the Empire. Oh, your former master and mother figure and Hera, they had a kid together. Like." There's a 11-year-old Jason Syndulla walking around. Like, now those are I just want to see the answer to those 2 questions. Like, I don't want, if they completely gloss over, I feel like they might. If they completely gloss over telling Ezra that Kanan had a kid, I'm going to be kind of annoyed. I can get it because they haven't established the relationship between Kanan and Ezra in this show. So it would be weird if he was like, oh, Hera had a kid, or if Kanan had a kid. But like that would be so important to tell Ezra. I can't wait for the catch-up conversation. Same here, Velvet. Like, I want to see that so bad. The longer Sabine waits, the worse it will be when she tells him. And that's the other thing. Like, screw about just catching up on the past 10 years. Like, what is Sabine going to tell Ezra? Like, oh, by the way, I came here with these Sith-esque mercenaries that are trying to restore the Empire, and I risked the future of the galaxy to go find you. Oh, and by the way, they're probably going to leave us here too. Like, oh, you're stranded on this island for another decade. But at least I'm here. Where's Callus? He's with Zeb. I don't know. It seems pretty clear that by the end, Ezra will be training Jason and maybe even Grogu. I don't know if that's clear. Do you guys think there's anything like else going on with Ezra? Maybe like he's been up to some things too, that he hasn't just been killing for like the past 10 years. Like maybe he has some dark secrets too as to how he survived. Oh, and also if I was Sabine, I'd be like, oh, here's your lightsaber back. The thing you haven't held in 10 years. It must be a peaceful life though for Ezra. Just like chill, like this nice area with these people. Maybe it gets a little lonely. Seems like a peaceful life, you know. Watching this Ezra interact, this Ahsoka is going to be interesting. I mean, Ezra and Ahsoka, I'm not like super like excited to see that. They didn't have a great relationship. Like they kind of did, but not like super. Ezra is unarmed, but I really want to see him go crazy. Like has Ezra been keeping up with his training? Like has he just been like using the Force on like rocks and stuff? He hasn't been using a lightsaber, that's for sure. Nothing too crazy, I think. I feel like he'll be super in tune with the Force. I think he'll be much wiser. It seems like he hasn't missed like a day. Although when he last saw him, he was like pretty serious. Granted, it was in the middle of a battle, but he was like, "Can I count on you, Sabine?" That's like a really heavy shit. And here he's like, "Oh, hey, Sabine. Like, where's Hera? Where's Zeb? Where's Chopper?" I hope he's been training somehow. I feel like he's not going to be a complete like degenerate. Like, just hasn't done anything. I think he might have developed a stronger relationship with the Force. Yeah, me too. Ahsoka might give him one of her lightsabers if they need to fight. Why wouldn't why wouldn't Sabine just give him his lightsaber back? I mean, Sabine's proficient, but she's not like an expert. She lost her first lightsaber fight and like kind of lost the second one. Thrawn couldn't find Ezra for 10 plus years and Sabine sees him in less than a day. But that's, Steve, I don't know if that's like the vibe I got. The vibe I got is that like Thrawn just like didn't care what Ezra was up to. Like, oh, like, okay, Ezra, like you can go wander off and do your thing. Like, I don't know what he's been up to. Like, I don't think Thrawn really cares. Ezra's gonna be pissy at the fact Sabine has potentially undone all he did against Thrawn. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I mean, Ezra didn't sacrifice himself to take down the Empire. He sacrificed himself to free Lothal. But that's the whole thing of Star Wars Rebels was defeating the Empire. So I think that's a really interesting thing. Like, Ezra's gonna be pissed. It's like, is Ahsoka actually pissed? Like, at the end of last episode, we kind of got the vibe that maybe she was more like peaceful and forgave her. But in this episode, you know, she kind of hinted that like she's still kind of annoyed that she didn't properly prepare Sabine for the moment. And like, what's Ezra gonna think? Like, Sabine done fucked up. They found Ezra, and I wonder if like you know, if she destroyed the map, she's like, I'm never gonna find Ezra again. But Ahsoka quite quickly, like, kind of easily figured out, oh, we can just use the whales to get to Ezra again. So, like, did you really need to destroy the map? I feel like they should have had Sabine find Ezra through some kind of Force connection. I disagree. I'm glad Sabine's not using the Force. She's going to use the Force at the end, and I've come to terms with that, but it's not going to be in a big way. It'll be interesting to see how Thrawn's reaction knowing Anakin is Ahsoka's master. Ezra ran out of hair dye? Yeah, he did. God, Ezra's grown up now. He's like 30. Maybe? No, he's like in his late 20s. Ezra's in his late 20s. Ezra. It's so weird hearing Ezra not be a squeaky wee guy. Yeah, I'm going to miss Taylor Gray's voice. But this guy does sound quite like... Taylor Gray is the name of Ezra. I believe that was his name. Voice of Ezra Bridger. Taylor Gray, yeah, I was right. You know, I wish that, like, all the actors of Rebels, like all the voice actors of Rebels, would just get like one scene cameos in this show. Just like acknowledge, like, thank you for all the hard work you did with Rebels, and like that you're not forgotten, like all of them. Zeb was in the Mandalorian season 3 finale, right? It wasn't the finale, but he was in season 3. I wonder if Ezra still has Kanan's holocron. I forget if that got destroyed or not. I don't remember. I don't think he does, though. Maybe Ezra's been up to some Yoda-type deals with his meditation and knows more than we think because he's been streaming the whole galaxy on the Force Plus. I feel like Ezra's actually completely clueless. Like, I mean, it would be too OP if Ezra can just see like what's going on in the galaxy through the Force. Like, I think that's too much. And actually deserves a cameo too. Absolutely, those are cameos I'm fine with. Like, give the previous actors like something to be happy about. My theory is that the series will end with Baylan being stopped, but Thrawn returns to the galaxy. Yeah, we all kind of assumed Thrawn is going to return. I don't think Ezra's 30. I think he's like, what's 19 plus 10? 29. He's probably 29 years old. Because he was born 19 BBY, and this is like 10 ABY. Taylor Gray is the voice in a few Buffalo Wild Wings commercials. Really? Is it the same guy? Or is it just someone with the same name? That'd be funny if someone has to tell the whole story of Star Wars. Yeah. The Force Plus. The reunion was kind of strange. I'm fine with it. They didn't need like... You can't have this huge reunion when most of your audience doesn't know the relationship between these two. Yeah, Siberian said like 30 years old pretty much. So yeah, a lot of interesting things that are set up. And some like good moments of tension. Like, how is Ezra going to feel when Sabine tells him, oh, you know, I risked the safety of the galaxy to find you. Listen, Sabine done fucked up, but it was a really good character moment that set up some really interesting things going forward. So yeah, I don't know. There's not much like discussion here. Like we can only just continue to speculate. Oh, like what's Thrawn and Morgan's plan? I don't know. Listen, this episode is, what does the poll say? Like 53, 39. Wow, 268 votes. Awesome. I wish all 268 of you destroyed the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I don't know, like, what else? What do you guys think is going to happen? I don't need to click on that. I feel like Baylan is definitely trying to access the world between worlds, and Ezra's the only person who's been able to access it. But, like, how would Baylan know that? Like, did Sabine streamline this knowledge? Did Ezra even tell anyone, like, really where he was? The only person who kind of knows is Ahsoka. Did Ahsoka tell Baylan? I don't think so. Yeah, Joshua. So they're probably like 30. This type of reunion episode puts the Grogu-Mando reunion to shame. In Book of Boba Fett just kind of happened. Here it's the focal point of the story. The difference is in the Book of Boba Fett, the Mando-Grogu reunion shouldn't have happened. At least not then. So, review of the whole show when? Okay, guys. So, great question. So today is Tuesday, September 19th. A week from now, I'm going to be taking a break from Star Wars and doing another video. So a week from now, different video. I try to upload a video every 2 weeks, every other Tuesday. I don't want to officially announce it because once I do, then I'm not going to be able to get a video done in that time. But I plan on doing a video on actually Rings of Power this upcoming Tuesday, 1 year later. And then 2 weeks after that, I'll do an Ahsoka review. So a week after the finale comes out and 3 weeks from today. So 3 weeks from today, I'll have a review of Ahsoka for the entire series. I don't know what to call it. I don't think I'm going to call it Ahsoka Why It's so far great, because so far it's pretty good. So yeah, you'll get my Ahsoka review in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. This show is better with less Ahsoka? I disagree. I've really liked Ahsoka in this series. The fact that Thrawn has survived by turning himself into a messianic, I think I said that right, figure worshipped by his troops like a warrior cult is not even close to what I was imagining, so it's much better. Can't wait for your Rings of Power video. It'll be interesting. Call it Rebel Season 5 review. It's like half Rebel Season 5, half Ahsoka show. I'm giving this episode an 8 out of 10. Really solid. Really solid. Excited to see how Ezra reacts to everything that has happened since he disappeared. Excited for episode 7. Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat, by the way, Overkill. I feel like it's unfair to call an episode like this bad because not every episode is going to be this home run hitter. Like, this episode was a stepping stone episode. I think it could have done some things better. I thought some of the dialogue was quite poor, I'll be honest. Like, when Baylan was talking to Shin, it seems like Shin knows jack shit about anything. Some of Sabine's dialogue with, like, the little horsey thing was, like, a little weird, but nothing, like, jarringly bad. Like, not like Star Wars prequels bad. Like, that's why I'd probably give it a 7 or 6.5. Like, it was fine. I think people look at 6 as, like, a bad episode. Like, 6 is, like, okay. It was an okay episode. I'll move it up to a 7 just because Rebels is the best Star Wars show ever. And, seeing Ezra again, which is, like, I didn't cry. It's pretty hard to make me cry. The ending of Rebels makes me cry. But seeing Ezra again just, like, warmed my heart. I don't know. Just, like, seeing Sabine and Ezra again, like, it just makes me happy. I agreed. We needed more meat to this one. It was forced, but not bad. I loved it. I always love how these episodes that are kind of like stepping stone episodes, they have like this random action just because, you know, Star Wars needs action. Like, so she fought some of the mercenaries and whatnot. But that was another thing. Like, oh, I just realized this. So remember when the mercenaries found Baylan and Shin, like in the distance? And Shin was like, okay, we can handle this. And Baylan's like, no, the enemy of our enemy is our friend. So it's like, Baylan sees Ezra as an enemy, so it's like, what does he want? Like, why does he want Ezra? I don't know. Does he want to just kill all the Jedi? There's not many left. He's got to go kill Luke, and that's not happening. I'm sorry, who didn't like this episode? Yeah, it's kind of hard to, like, dislike this episode. You know, it's like a fine episode. Like, somewhere between 6 and 7. I'd go 7, just because I'm a shill. Do you think Luke will be involved in any capacity? No. This was my favorite episode so far. Interesting, Julia. Why do you think that? If I had to rank them, I don't know. I had a really soft spot for episode 3. I haven't rewatched episode 1 and 2 yet, but I've rewatched 3, 4, and 5 a lot. 4 is the best, then 5, then maybe 1, then 3, then 6, then 2. And that's like not like saying this is so far like the worst episode of the series. That's not really like a bad thing. The series has been pretty good so far. Like, if this is the worst episode of the series so far, which it might be, like, let's go. Like, the series has been good so far, and this was a fine episode. He does not want to kill him. He's divided into what he was and what he is now. Episode 4 is probably my favorite. Episode 4 was really good. Like, all the praise that episode 5 got, I think episode 4 is one of the best episodes of Star Wars TV we've gotten. Not a fan of the flashbacks. This was the best episode for me, too. Interesting. I feel like this episode, again, is just kind of like a setup episode for some great things to come. It could have been a little bit more entertaining, but, like, what do we need? Was it a little easy to find Ezra? Actually, that's another thing. I kind of liked how they handled Thrawn and Ezra. Like, how they found them. Because, like, there's a whole galaxy. How are they just going to find Thrawn and Ezra? It's like, oh, they kind of established that this planet is, like, the gateway that the Purrgil used. So, like, whenever they travel through galaxies, like, they always just end up here first. So that's why it makes sense that this map is a map to the other galaxy, but, like, all paths just lead to this one planet, always. So that's why Ezra and Thrawn are here and not elsewhere in the galaxy. I was kind of hoping that we'd get a little bit more here with, like, the galaxy, with something that was special about this galaxy. It seems like that there's nothing really particular. Nothing in particular about this galaxy is special. It's just that they're kind of doing sinister things on this planet, if that makes sense. I want another good shot of Ezra and Sabine. I don't know. I'm just like so happy to see them together. Like, I don't know. Just, you know, there's a lot of fans of the prequels and whatnot in the movies, but like Rebels to me holds that. Like, Rebels just means so much to me. The galaxy is dead in the Force. I don't know if that's how the Force works. I'd be kind of disappointed if the Force was just, like, limited to one galaxy, you know? I wouldn't like that. Yeah, this episode was awesome. The music was awesome and really cool designs. So sad Ray died. Great actor. Yeah, we can touch on that for a bit. I'll pull up a shot of Baylan here. That's Shin. We don't need a shot of Shin. We need Baylan. Oh, give me a better shot of Baylan. We'll talk about Ray Stevenson. And again, we've all said this before, how tragic it is with his passing. But I'm a firm believer, if the character survives the series, which I believe he will, they should recast the character. Like, I don't think it's disrespectful to say that Baylan's not the most important character in the Star Wars franchise. So, like, I think it's just more important that we continue that story. It's not like Carrie Fisher with Leia, where she played Leia for 40 years, and Princess Leia is one of the most iconic characters in the history of cinema. Baylan is just not on that level. And as unfortunate as it is with Ray Stevenson's passing, I think they should recast the character. My face when Ben Solo gets the best Disney Plus series featuring Thrawn. Stop it. You know how much I love Ben Solo. Maybe Shin and Baylan can be redeemed. It's like, be redeemed from what? It's like they're a little bit evil. Like, okay, they haven't committed crimes across the galaxy. I mean, they're potentially complicit in another war starting, but they can't be redeemed yet. Like, they could just turn good and it'd be okay. We should talk about the Boken Jedi. I have no clue what that is, Edward. Like I said before, it's a gray area with no definitive answer. I guess. They should in his honor. I agree. And Baylan's such an interesting character. And I don't want to sound like I'm diminishing Ray Stevenson's acting, because I'm not, because he's done such a great job. But I feel like there are a lot of great actors that can play this role well. So, I'm not... Ray Stevenson's done a fantastic job with the role. I think there are other people who can do that as well. And Baylan has a pretty generic look. Like, he'll get a white guy with a really nice beard and some white hair. He does have a nice beard. I ripped to Ray, but my perfect replacement would be Russell Crowe. Guys, how about this? let's get through the series first. We don't need to talk about the future. What would Yoda tell Luke? Stay in the moment. We can revisit this conversation in 2 weeks. Oh, expanding on the Ben Solo idea. Could he be in the paths or his timeline for Force Ghost in the last one? What? I don't know what you mean. So yeah, I guess there's a lot to speculate about. Like, what do we think is going to happen next? I wonder if Ezra, or I wonder if Ahsoka is going to get to Peridia or whatever it's called. There's going to be like a battle or whatever. And then the episode 7 is going to end with Thrawn leaving. And then episode 8 is going to be like Thrawn's initial attack on the galaxy. I firmly believe that the series is going to end with like a cliffhanger of some kind. Maybe not like a super cliffhanger like Force Awakens, like literal cliffhanger, but kind of like Last Jedi where there's a lot of plot threads like left, but it kind of had like a conclusive ending to the story. Like Thrawn's back, what's going to happen next? And like stuff like that. The crab people reminded me of the hobbits. Why? Because they're small? Do you think time works differently in this galaxy? That's why Ezra looks so much older? Not really. I don't think he looks old. I mean, he just hasn't shaved. Listen. If I didn't shave for 10 years, I got a little bit of facial hair here. You'd bet I'd be like James Harden, if you know who that is. Thick ass beard. That's true. I did that during quarantine, by the way. Like when I was just sitting in my. If you guys should go back to some of my earliest videos and see how disgusting I looked. I had like this long ass hair. I kind of looked like Ezra, but not as attractive. The actor is a good looking dude. I'll give him that. I don't remember his name. I'm kind of surprised we've seen both Thrawn and Ezra in this episode. Yeah, me too. Do you think this will connect to the sequels? I think this whole era will connect with the sequels. I'm not sure if this show will specifically. I'm just curious to see how this all ties in with the First Order, because it can't just be ignored. Boken is essentially a Japanese training sword, so I don't know where the connection is. How are people even bringing this up? Did someone just randomly bring this up in the chat? It's so weird, but cool seeing Ezra with a beard. I mean, yeah, last time we saw him, he was a kid. So he was what, like 14 in the first season of Rebels and like 17, 18 in the 19 in the last season. I mean, a 19-year-old can grow a nice beard, but I guess Ezra kept his hygiene up. Crab people reminded me of Jim Henson. Crab people were cute. I kind of got more like turtle vibes because they had the shells. I guess frog or crab. I don't want to keep on saying frog. Like, my brain just doesn't work. The crab people, that might be a better analogy. I'm curious to see what people are saying on Twitter. Oh, you want to see what... I bet you Star Wars Only's dumbass said something stupid. He's going to trigger me. Oh, he hasn't tweeted anything. Interesting. A lot of interesting stuff here. Again, a lot of interesting things that are set up. This episode didn't have too much meat to it, so there's not so much to discuss. I guess we can just continue to speculate going forward. Ezra seems pretty mentally sane for being abandoned on a planet for over a decade. Not a complaint, just funny to me. I mean, he hasn't been alone. Like, he's been with the crab people. So that's one way to keep him sane. He's not like the guy in what was that damn movie with Tom Hanks? Where he was stranded. God damn it. What's that movie? The Wilson, the volleyball. Castaway, right? Castaway. Okay, I got it before chat. Thank God, yes. Okay. What did Star Wars Only say? Nothing. Nothing so far. He pisses me off, but I love that guy. By the way, guys, you can check us out on the Chatooine show tomorrow on the Chatooine channel, or just stay here and watch the stream on Thursday, so in 2 days. This was a setup for the 2 episodes that come next. Yeah, pretty much. People are expecting Ezra to be like Maul when he's found in the Clone Wars. Yeah, I mean, Ezra's been chilling with these crab people, and they seem nice, and they knew who Ezra was. Super chat from Star Wars Hour. Thank you so much. Let's start a Deadpool. Who we think is dying in this show? My bet is either Jason or Hera. No. I have a really tough time believing Filoni is going to kill off anyone from Rebels. At least in this series. There's no way Hera's ever going to die. I just don't believe it. Hera's been like so consistent throughout a lot of shit. Post a link. I don't think we don't have a link yet. I'm head out now. See you in Tatooine. See you tomorrow. How do you feel about the aesthetic of the show? I like it. I really liked a lot of the Stormtrooper stuff in Thrawn's Empire. Oh, and like he rebuilt the Star Destroyer. I guess the Star Destroyer wasn't destroyed, and they had like golden plating on it. Can I find a shot of that? I don't know if I can. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I just had a good shot. And it seemed to be like paint underneath it too. So there's Thrawn's Star Destroyer, and then here's like the golden plating on it. So that's like a really interesting aesthetic. Maybe not kill off. No one's getting left behind on Peridia. Because if anything, Thrawn will leave, and then Ahsoka will take everyone else back. Jason has a higher chance. Hera keeps bringing this child to these war zones. You run him to one. All right, just one. I was half expecting Ezra to be dead when Sabine got there. Gonna be entirely honest. Listen, I cannot. You would need the biggest forklift in the world to carry Dave Filoni's balls if he killed off Ezra. Imagine all that hype. That'd be a little depressing. Like Ezra got like sent away and died. I mean, listen, galactic-sized balls from Dave Filoni if he did that, but that's clearly not going to happen. My favorite scene was the travel scene with Sabine. It was kind of neat. A lot of people expect like all these Star Wars episodes to be super serious, but it was fine. Like this episode was neat. It did its job. Didn't need to do super serious stuff. I love that they kept Thrawn as the art-loving mastermind. Oh yeah, there's another good shot here. I'm gonna pull it up. Where like I don't think this was here before, but there's like some interesting art at the underneath the Star Destroyer. Like I don't know if this is supposed to like represent anything. At first I thought maybe it was the Purrgil, but I don't see Thrawn doing that. The thing that destroyed him pretty much. I think wasted too much time on her travels. That's a lot of people say that, but it's like it would have taken away from the moment if Sabine just found Ezra that easily. Like, sure, I think it's wise that you need to take time for Sabine to find Ezra so it doesn't feel like it's that cheap. I know it's the Chimera, but like, was this paint job here before? It was always there, really? I don't remember that in Rebels at all. No. Was the Chimera ever, was the name Chimera ever given in Rebels? I know it was in one of the books of the canon books, that is. The Chimera's paint job, but like, I would have bet a lot of money that was not in Rebels. Thrawn, the Chimera Star Destroyer. I mean, there's one shot with the paint job. Like, I'm trying to get a shot of it in Rebels. It has like a snake design to it, which is really cool. Makes sense now why hyperspace ring is so big, gonna attach to the Chimera. Interesting. In Battle Autolon, you see that Chimera's paint job. Okay, listen, I'm the big Rebels fanboy, but I guess I don't know everything. I can't. I'll take your guys' word for it. I don't see. Oh, there's some pretty badass Lego sets here. Like here, can I like drag this here and like show you guys? God damn it. I guess some pretty cool Lego sets here, or pretty cool like designs. But like here's a shot from Rebels. I think. No, like there was a shot from Rebels before. Like here, I can't tell if there's a paint job. There might be. Maybe just the bottom? Is that Minecraft? Yeah, it is. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, it looks cool. Like, whether it was in Rebels or not, it still looks badass. Do we think the powerful thing that Baylan is alluding to and seeking after is related to the Mortis gods? I just don't think so. I don't think they're going to talk about the Mortis. I don't think they're going to go that deep into the lore. I feel like what Baylan's after is something new. that they're not really gonna touch on. One of my friends just texted me. He's a big Rebels fan as well. Oh, he just said love the episode. Seeing Ezra made me emotional. Text my good friend. Why are the Dathomirians so hot? Dude. They're witches. Again, we should be done with the old stuff. Let's do some new things. Like, the Mortis gods are cool. They can be referenced here and there, but I don't think they need to be super prominent in the story. By the way, for those of you who are here now that were here before, in like the pre-show stream, do you guys notice any of that connection issue I had before? I don't think so. I don't think I haven't. I have no idea what's going to happen next. Me neither. Am I a bad streamer if I text my friend my Ahsoka thoughts in the middle of a stream? I think Thrawn fears Abeloth. What exactly is Abeloth? Like, I'm not too familiar with that part of the Star Wars lore. Let me put on a better image of the episode. Can I be honest? I just really want Mandalorian armor. Like, I don't know, just seeing like Sabine like casually wear armor, and she can just like, I did a rewatch of Rebels recently for my Rebels video, and like not once did Sabine actually block bullets with her armor, and here she does it all the time. It's like pretty cool. Oh, my friend texted me, "What's Baylan's goal, to destroy both the Sith and the Jedi?" I have no clue. Lots of potential to be really interesting. Could be really dumb. All right, no more texting. I apologize. Abeloth is basically the mother in the Mortis gods. Google a photo. She's creepy as fuck. Maybe. I think they know about different galaxies. They just aren't good at traveling to them. May have already been mentioned as I was late, but how did Huyang start speaking about a galaxy far, far away when they shouldn't know about other galaxies? I don't think that's true. I think they've heard legends about other galaxies, but not much. And there was it was referenced in a book that Huyang's like 25,000 years old. He can be in the prequel Jedi, like the Dawn of the Jedi movie. Where the hangar scene hands down has to be the best scene in Star Wars. It was pretty badass, but best scene in Star Wars, you guys really going that far? Oh, let me get another good shot, because that was some really badass shit too. Here's a decent shot. Again, this dude on the right, I forgot his name. Enoch? Just looks so cool. It would be kind of annoying to see through. Just like a little pupil we have to see through, but it looks cool. Where's Ezra's blue hair? It's gone. It's gone forever. As Ezra ages, his hair is no longer blue. And I wonder, does that mean he's like human? Like, we all assume he's a human being, but like, he's the only human we've seen with blue hair. And his parents were both like humans. It's not like Jason Syndulla, where his mother was a Twi'lek and he has green hair. Didn't realize he was that old. Yeah, Huyang's old. Imagine Huyang is the one who writes all the opening crawls. Yeah, you know, people talk about like the Wills and whatnot, and like they're the ones who are writing the Star Wars. What if it's Huyang? Give it up with the hair. Listen. We're geeks. We're nerds. We like talking about this shit. He looks goofy, cool and goofy at the same time. Who, Ezra? I guess. I don't think he looks goofy. He looks like how I would picture a stranded Ezra to look, with a thick beard, pretty badass outfit. Isn't this the same actor as Aladdin? Because this outfit gives me Aladdin vibes. And then like people in Rebels said Ezra was like Aladdin too. So he's space Aladdin. Huyang would know about the Mortis gods and World Between Worlds and some other weird Force stuff because of Ahsoka. Probably know more. Huyang is the Star Wars galaxy's oldest character with a definitive timeline, and he's estimated to have been created around 25,000 BBY, 5 years after the Jedi Order was founded. Amazing how he hasn't died. And I remember there was another Star Wars show or story or something where they said that they wipe the memory of droids every like decade so it doesn't get like corrupted. But like, I guess Huyang doesn't need that. This is a pretty cool outfit. This is an outfit that he can fight in. If you see someone wearing like loose robes or whatnot, that's an outfit you can fight in. I really hope we avoid moments where Thrawn gets visibly angry like we had in Rebels. Thrawn never let his anger out get the best of him. I wouldn't mind. Shows he's more human or chiss or whatever. More of a flawed character. Ezra looks like Cal Kestis. What? Cal's a ginger. Are you on drugs? Cloudy foam. Cal could never grow a beard that thick. I don't even know if they have a skin for a beard that thick. Ezra's going to be pissed at Sabine. That's one of the things I'm looking the most forward to. Again, a lot of this other stuff doesn't interest me as much as just, like, Ezra. Like, what is he like? How's he going to feel about Sabine and what he did? That's my boy Ezra. I'm just glad to see him back. His eyes were spot on. And it's one of those funny things. Like, Hera's... When we first saw Hera, her green eyes looked, like, really jarring. Same thing with Ahsoka. She had, like, these whitish eyes. And now Ezra's eyes looked weird. I just, like, don't remember Ezra having different colored eyes. Like, am I like, that clueless? Ezra Bridger. Man, he just had, like, blue eyes. Like, his eyes looked a lot different here. Oh, I like the, do you ever see that art of the, like, here, this picture? I put it here. Like this image of Ezra. The image got it pretty right. The beard wasn't as thick, but the hair was right. Certainly the beard could be a little thicker. But I mean, it was pretty spot on. I'll give him that. All right, guys. I am going to wrap up the stream in the next few minutes. Nice. Yep, that's him now. That is absolutely him. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up the stream in like 3-5 minutes. So if you have any last burning thoughts or questions, we can discuss it now, and then I will see you guys next week. Are we bummed we had an episode of Ahsoka with almost no Ahsoka in it? Kind of Book of Boba Fett vibes? Absolutely not, and here's why. In the Book of Boba Fett, they established Boba Fett's story for 4 episodes, and then they just completely switched to the Mandalorian story for an episode. In this episode, like, they established Sabine and other shit is going on. So, like, yeah, Ahsoka was barely in it, but it's developing the plot that Ahsoka is a part of. It wasn't just a backstory episode for a completely unrelated character. Like, Ezra and Sabine are focal parts of the series. Like, if Book of Boba Fett had an episode devoted to Fennec, like, that wouldn't be that bad, assuming it was a decent episode. So, no, it's not the same. The music in the hangar scene was fire. I don't, like, remember music, like, much when I first watch it, so I'm going to have to pay attention to that on my rewatch. Shin is the daughter of Baylan and Morgan? Yeah, I don't think so. What did Thrawn eat while he was exiled? Some of his troopers, probably. Is the cargo being loaded on the Chimera Dathomirian bodies? That's what people are saying, and maybe. I don't know. Morgan is concerned for the mercenaries? In what way? Anyway, really, really interesting stuff. So I'll give my final thoughts here. Let me zoom out. Oh, I still don't like this camera, but at least my connection's better. I'd give this episode a 7. It should be a 6, but my Rebels nostalgia is bringing it up to a 7. It was a fine stepping stone episode. It wasn't a filler episode. Like, stuff here was important. It just set up a lot more things to come. A little bit slow, but not necessarily a bad thing. A fine episode. Might be the worst in the series so far, and that's not really a bad thing because this episode's a fine episode. If this becomes the worst episode of the series, I think the series is in good hands. So, yeah. Anyway, that is the stream. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching another one of my streams. I really appreciate it. I'll be back next week. I might do a reaction stream and just stream for 3 hours instead of like 2 separate streams. We'll see. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching all of my streams. Don't forget to unite the Cloud Squad, and I will see you guys next time.